This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back my good friend Katie LaRosa. It's been 3 years since we did a podcast, and I'm having her back. We're going to nerd out on the entertainment of our youth. You know, we're pretty close in age, and so we're going to have a lot of common, like-minded experiences. Since she's been taking a break, she's gotten married, and I'm so happy. They've been together for a long time. I'm so glad that her and her wife are together, and it's going to be a great conversation. I just adore Katie so much. I love her. One of the few people I met during my bar days that I'm still in contact with that I trust, and it's going to be another great conversation. Also, tonight I will be dropping Ask Tommy number 4, where I'll be answering frequently asked questions from both listeners and guests that I've had. So keep an eye out and also an ear out. It's going to be fantastic. This is by the way, she is my third Catherine today. I've had three Catherines on. I had 2 Kathys and a Katie, so 3 Catherines today. It's so funny. March Madness is kicking off in style. So yeah, here is my new interview with Katie LaRosa.
Hello, hello.
Hey Katie, welcome back. How are you doing, darling?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Wow. Yeah,
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, March Madness. It's the beginning of March Madness.
Oh my gosh. I do not follow March Madness.
I don't either, but you can't avoid saying March Madness.
This is true. It is pretty cool to see the people that do understand it and follow it. That's what's up. Fantasy football, I guess, right?
Yeah. Fantasy football, St. Patty's Day coming.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm trying to remember. Did Mardi Gras pass already?
Yep, Mardi Gras passed because Easter is on the 31st.
Right.
Which is crazy.
I realize this is your first show as a married woman. How does it feel?
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's been 1.5 years that I've been married now.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel any different, to be completely honest. Everybody always asks, what's different? But my wife and I have been together for 13 and a half years.
Yeah.
So it's been an amazing, wild ride, and I'm loving it. I'm here for it. It's great. I've celebrated many amazing milestones with my wife, so it's been awesome.
Yeah, I remember meeting her at Gay Pride in 2010.
Yes, we weren't even technically dating then. Oh my god, as I put myself on blast. Yeah, we weren't dating then. We were all just friends back then, and from Pride to August, things just freaking developed, and we got to know each other, and I miss Pride. I haven't gone to Pride.
I miss the old Pride, but from what I've been told, it's just not the same anymore.
Exactly. We're too old for that shit. That's why we don't go.
Yeah, exactly.
But it really is. The last time I went, it really just... The world is such a different place, and while the gay community has progressed, I don't want to say that that's not the reason. I just think, San Francisco in general is so different, and it's not the same celebration it once was.
No. It definitely isn't. But here we are now. And I'd like to start by asking you, what was the first movie that had an impact on you as a child?
I would have to say probably Full Metal Jacket.
Really?
Yeah, so people think I'm crazy. Full Metal Jacket's one of my oldest, most favorite movies. My dad was a Marine. My dad was in the Vietnam War, so he always showed us that movie of, this is what I went through. This is the real core, as a Marine would say. But, it really did, instill like that Marine value in me. That's through and through. I'm the daughter of a Marine. It's my core. It's really who I am.
Yeah.
It's who I try to be in a sense. I was going to go into the Marine Corps myself when I was 18. So that movie, I mean, that and like, oh my God, The Godfather. My mom was the Godfather fanatic.
Love it. Yeah.
And that shit was like, taught me to like, it's still to this day, I'm like, you don't go against the family. You just don't go against the family.
Yeah.
Or you sleep with the fishes, you know?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, what other movies as a kid did I really love? Like, of course, well, no one really actually loves Top Gun, but Top Gun is probably one of my all-time favorite movies.
I can't stand it.
Really? Did you see the new one?
Well, no, but let me tell you this. If I can give that movie any kind of compliments, it's this. I love the action sequences. They are some of the best action sequences in any action movie ever made. I will give it that. And I will give it the fact that, they put $8 million into this advertising campaign with fucking Pepsi and all that shit. That was very genius and clever and bold back in 1986. Like, no one did that. But I don't know. I just don't like the love story, and it's
no, that's the worst part of the whole movie. Like, they could take that out of the movie and it would be such a perfect movie. That's the worst part of it.
Yeah. I just can't get into it. But no, I haven't seen the new one yet. Should I?
I love it. I think it's badass. The action scenes, like the flying, it's pretty badass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Back to the Future, when I first saw that at the age of 3.5, it just impacted me in ways other movies hadn't. And I still think to this day it's the perfect movie. And just like people who love it, I have that fantasy of going back in time and seeing my parents when they were in high school and seeing, why they're so fucked up and why I'm so fucked up, that kind of thing.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
I feel that. I totally feel that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, to be able to do that would be pretty bitchin', in a sense. Hello, McFly. It's so funny. I think of my sister when I think of Back to the Future. Because that was more her generation, that's her movie. She loves that movie.
Yeah, I mean we're pretty close in age, but I grew up in Shoreview, and during the cable and VHS boom, my mom worked for Comcast for many years throughout its various names.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we went to Shoreview Video a lot, and eventually the Warehouse and Blockbuster as time went on, and so it's just like movies have always been a big part of my life. And I was curious, growing up in South City, did you guys have like, a mom and pop video store that you went to?
When we lived in South City, by the time I moved to South City, we did not. It was more Blockbuster then, but when I was little, I remember going to Sneak Preview Video in Burlingame every Friday. So my parents divorced when I was 4. And on Fridays, my dad would pick us up when he got off of work. He would take us usually for fast food because that was our way of getting spoiled. So we'd like go to McDonald's, and after we would go family grocery shopping, and we were each allowed to pick a movie at the movie rental store. That way, over the weekend that he had with us, if we wanted that free time to watch a movie, we had that option. So like I would always pick like a Disney movie, or like A League of Their Own is a movie that I can probably watch over and over again. It's something that I could just like have on in the background.
Same here.
So that was always something that I would rent. Or I actually watched a lot of musicals growing up. My dad always showed me like The Music Man, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, like old classic movies like that. And that's what we would do. But that I loved that it kind of continued into, I mean, really my adulthood, because even still to this day, I have a huge DVD collection.
Yep.
Because we would go every weekend to rent movies, but then when they started selling DVDs at Blockbuster, you could buy like 4 DVDs for $30. And I'm a sucker for TV on DVD, so I have like the original Roseanne TV show all on DVD. I have Home Improvement.
Yeah.
I think what else we have, like 6 Feet Under, like I miss going out and renting a movie. Like, I mean, there's the Redbox thing now, but that's not the same. Because we actually, like, made friends with the people at the movie store, in a sense. Like, they knew us just from walking in. Like, they knew us on first name basis. They knew every Friday we were going to come in and at least rent 4 movies from them. Like, no matter what, that was something we always did every single weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never did the red box thing. You know, I think by the time I came of age, 7-Eleven stopped having video rentals, but like when my brother was a kid, they had video rentals all the time. And like, you know, about, 15 years ago, I started noticing the red box at 7-Eleven. I'm just like, this is just a waste of space. I mean, does anybody really rent from here? You know?
We did at first, but now with all the different streaming stuff, it's almost a waste to go. Like, we already pay for Hulu, Amazon Prime, or whatever, like Netflix. I even have the Peacock network. Like, there are a lot of good throwbacks. I started rewatching the MASH show just because I was at work the one day and I had nothing to do, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch MASH, because the entire series is on, I think that was on Hulu.
Yeah.
So it's like, why am I going to go down? The closest one to me in Belmont is the Safeway down the street. And it's like, and sometimes they don't even have the DVD in the machine. So you can't rent it.
I grew up a huge MASH fan, and I still am, but that show still holds up. I prefer, like, maybe the third, fourth season when after Wayne Rogers and McLean Stevenson left. I never liked those guys, and I've been hearing stories about them lately of how cruel they were off camera, and that's why they eventually left the show.
Oh, I did not know that. I think I'm on the 2nd season right now of it. Talking about it now, I haven't watched it in a few days. I should hop back on and watch it.
Yeah,
but my dad, that was another thing my dad watched. So it's something that we grew up watching, and it's just like a classic, like, comfort thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, God, I just loved it, and I still do. It gets better as the seasons wear on. Yeah, I mean, having a brother who's 9 years older than me, he recorded everything off HBO between 1984 and 88, and we had all the teen sex comedy movies like Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds and Zapped and The Wildlife, and then he had a weird obsession with medieval sword and sorcery epics like Kroll, The Neverending Story, Labyrinth, Highlander, The Princess Bride.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's funny, because my older sister is 10 years older than I am.
Yeah.
I never realized that. That's so funny.
Yeah, he liked Tron, the Goonies, Gremlins, Ghostbusters. I'm a huge Indiana Jones guy.
Yes.
I heard about the new one coming out this summer. You know, I'm a little skeptical, but because it is indie and Harrison Ford's in it, I got to see it, just like I did with the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I didn't even like that one, you know?
Oh, I love that. But I feel it.
I prefer Temple of Doom, though, over Raiders. I think Raiders...
Oh, yes.
I mean, Raiders has great stuff in it, but it's too slow, and at least Temple of Doom is faster paced.
I agree.
And Last Crusade is in the middle.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, Indiana Jones is a great series.
Yeah, and of course the original Star Wars, I loved. I got that from him as well. We had Star Wars bed sheets, and they were modeled off of the theatrical poster. I wish we still had them.
Oh, that's legit.
Yeah.
Yep. We are huge Star Wars fans in this house, so.
Yeah, not so much the prequels for me, but the originals, the original trilogy.
Absolutely.
I will always love those.
Yes, absolutely. During COVID, we watched in the proper order of 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, but then we watched it because my wife wasn't really familiar with it. We did end up watching it 1 through 6, and watching it that way made more sense for her. She was able to more understand the story, so I'm proud of the knowledge she has now, because she really didn't understand before. And I mean, my brothers and I are straight up Star Wars nerds, so I was like, well, you're going to have to learn. I'm going to need you to watch this. If there's one thing you're going to have to watch, it's this. Thank you.
Do you remember your first drive-in experience? Did you ever get to go to the drive-in?
I did get to experience the good old Burlingame drive-in. Yep. I think of it every time I drive north on 101. There's a big old office building there now. It's very sad. I can't really remember the first movie I saw. I'd have to ask my dad if he remembers. But I do remember seeing... You're probably going to think I'm crazy. Do you remember the movie Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion?
Oh, fuck, yes, one of my favorites.
That is what the last movie I saw. But there is still a drive-in down in San Jose.
Yeah.
So we will sometimes make the trek down, and we cheat the system. We do bring our own food in our car. But we love going to the drive-in. It's been a while, actually. When the weather gets better, that's definitely something I'll want to do, because when it's nice and hot in San Jose, you roll down your windows, and especially if you go with people you know, you can have multiple cars like lined up, pass food back and forth to each other and stuff like that. I wish there were more drive-ins.
I do too, and I'm going to definitely go to that San Jose drive-in now that I'm in Modesto. I can make the trip at some point, but I miss it. The last time I went to the Burlingame drive-in was in 2000. Me and my dad went to go see the second Nutty Professor movie, The Clumps.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. And then we were going to go the next year, and then not long after that, it closed. And sadly, we didn't get to go one last time. But, they started taking me at the age of 2 with Weird Science, and Rambo 2 was on a double bill that night. And for the next almost 2 years, they were taking me to the movies, but then they stopped taking me for 3 years because I was either falling asleep in the car or I was getting out of the car and knocking on windshields.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Oh, yeah, we don't go out to the movies too often. They still have the theater downtown, but now at Hillsdale, they have, it's called Sinopolis.
Yeah.
And the thing we like about Sinopolis is that you order your food through the website, like on your phone. You do the QR code, you scan the QR code, and they bring you your food.
Yeah.
They have the ability to, they have happy hour deals, and you can have beer, wine if you want. I think they have a full bar, actually. But the thing I love about it the most is when I discovered, I think when we saw the Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever.
Oh, yeah.
They project the movie not just on the front screen, but on the 2 side wall screens as well.
Yeah.
So it was like I literally was in Wakanda. Like, I sat up in my chair and was like, everybody around me was looking around like, oh my God, like, do you see what I'm seeing? And I thought, like, that's the future of a movie theater. Like, I would rather experience something like that than the moving chairs thing that they have. I've never done that. 4D, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
That was bitching because I didn't need special glasses for it. It was no special price or anything like that. It was just like, we were in Wakanda. I was like, oh, this is so amazing. When we saw Top Gun, it was like we were flying in the air. It was absolutely amazing.
Do you ever go to IMAX?
No, you know what? I don't know. I think I've seen one movie in IMAX. I think we saw one of the Star Wars movies over in Emeryville by the IKEA. I think that's IMAX.
Huh. I've seen a couple of movies at IMAX in San Francisco. I'll be honest, it's overrated, but at least the sound is really quality.
Okay, yeah. So IMAX is really just a big ass screen.
Yeah,
I don't need all that.
Yeah, you don't need a super large screen.
Yeah, no, I want good sound, if anything. Like, I mean, a decent normal movie screen is fine for me. Holy crap, it is so windy out here right now. It's crazy windy. The storm that we're getting.
We got it too, yeah. Yeah, I remember being in kindergarten, 5 years old, and just getting into trouble for saying horrible things that I quoted in the movies.
Oh, absolutely. I remember my mom being like, you are not allowed to repeat these things at school or in front of your grandmother. Like, do not let her know I let you watch this movie. Like, okay, whatever. Oh my gosh. Then my sister was that way with music. Mm-hmm. It'd be like listening to Snoop Dogg and stuff, and it'd be like, do not repeat these words in front of mom. Like, and then when she asks you where you heard it from, you did not hear it from me. Like, okay, cool, you got it.
Yeah. So do you have like a top 10 favorite movies of all time list?
Oh, top 10? my all-time number one favorite movie of over anything is Dirty Dancing.
I hate that movie.
That doesn't surprise me. So many people hate that movie, but that is my best friend and I. Like, I feel like that's part of the reason we bonded in the 4th grade. Like, that's just what still to this day. Veronica can recite the movie better than I can, and I'm willing to say that on a podcast for the world to hear that Veronica can literally recite that movie word for word, up, down, backwards, forwards, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Dirty Dancing, Top Gun, like The Music Man is in my tops. The Wizard of Oz. I absolutely love Wizard of Oz.
Same here.
It was my mom's favorite movie, so we watched it a lot. But, like, I don't know if I would say it's, like, my favorite movie, like, top 10 status, but, like, there's been some good action movies, too. Like, you can't go wrong with a few Die Hards, like, I don't know, it was funny, my brother and I were just talking about, he sent me, I'll have to send you the picture that he sent me of, at first it made me think of Pulp Fiction, and he was like, close, but no, it was Reservoir Dogs. I was like, damn, I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs in hella years. I don't even know, I should ask Sam, I wonder if Sam's seen it, because probably not. Her movie, the broadness of movies she's seen is nothing compared to what I've watched, because my brothers can, like, talk in movie quotes and stuff, and, like, I know different actors, like, when we're watching the Game Show Network, like, I will just be, certain topics, I'm, like, on it. She's like, how do you know that? I'm like, because I've seen that. I watched that.
Yeah, I mean, God, Back to the Future, The Breakfast Club, The Graduate, Amadeus, Rocky, the original Superman movie from 1978. I love that. Clerks, Enter the Dragon, Rebel Without a Cause, and
good one.
And Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, I loved Rebel Without a Cause. I feel like we watched that in English in high school.
Most likely. I'm trying to remember when I saw it. I know that I saw it in another movie made about the 50s. They, like, went to the drive-in to see it, and I was like, oh, I want to see that movie, and I did. And I love Natalie Wood anyways. It's funny. It's funny. My dad went to the drive-in to see The Great Race when he was 9, and he got his first hard-on seeing Natalie Wood. And so, like, it's been passed on down to me.
My dad also loves Natalie Wood. That's where, like, he introduced me to Natalie Wood with West Side Story.
Yeah, West Side Story. Even when she was little in Miracle on 34th Street, that's my favorite Christmas movie ever.
Oh, I forgot that she's the little girl in that movie.
Yeah, and she was so spunky in that you know, you could see, like, later when she grew up, just, you know, that spunkiness was still there, you know?
Yep, absolutely, yes.
I remember the first movie of hers I saw was her last movie, Brainstorm, which they had to redo the ending after she died because she didn't get to film it. It is such a sad ending when Christopher Walken is dying and he's seeing angels, and then he comes back because, you know, you think about Natalie dying, you know, and not being able to finish that ending. It's really compelling.
Absolutely, yeah. My dad actually bought me, because I don't even know how, when, or why I fell in love with Marilyn Monroe and started watching her movies. I don't know if it was just my dad showing me different musicals. And I know for sure it was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes that made me fall in love with her.
Yes.
But from there it was, which I actually may still have up at his place. I might still have all of them. I have all her movies on DVDs. I have a lot of memorabilia type things. Like, remember when we were younger, in, like, the TV guides, you would see, like, the collection of, like, coins.
Yes.
So you could fill out the little form. So, like, I have Marilyn Monroe coins. I have a Marilyn Monroe salt and pepper shaker.
Remember the Elvis plates?
Barbie. Yep.
My mom had one of I think it was him doing the he's doing the blue suede shoes, like he's like on his knees on the ground doing blue suede shoes. Yeah. Yep.
I have a lot of Marilyn Monroe stuff, like a lot. At one point, my whole bedroom was Marilyn Monroe because I would cut up my calendars and put the pictures from the calendars up on the walls.
Yeah.
Freaking love Marilyn. Like, gone way too soon. I would have loved to have seen, like, how she would have developed as an actress.
I've done a bunch of tributes to her on here with some old Hollywood historians. I'll tell you, me and the female Hollywood historians, we get along so well. It's like when we're bouncing off minutia to one another, it's almost like we're flirting in a way with each other, talking
your
about...
Your knowledge is just impeccable. It's always amazing, your knowledge of movies.
Yeah, well,
your memory is impeccable.
Yeah, well, it's like, we're comparing notes, and we know how accurate the information is and everything, and even if we don't know, we're eager to find out and stuff. It's just like infectious energy,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So going back to TV, like, I grew up on all the sitcoms of our generation, like Full House and Family Matters and Step by Step and Boy Meets World and Seinfeld and all that. But I also grew up on my parents' sitcoms, like The Munsters, The Addams Family, Get Smart, Green Acres, Partridge Family, Brady Bunch. Yeah.
Oh my God, abso-freaking-lutely, yes. They don't make TV like they used to. Like, we don't really watch TV, I feel like. When I'm watching TV, it's like we're streaming stuff, or I'll watch the Game Show Network usually, because I don't take the time. I would rather re-watch a show from our generation than, like, find it. Someone would have to tell me, like, oh my God, this show is so amazing, like, you have to watch this for me to think about watching it. But part of the problem with me and TV is that I forget when things are on. So what I'll do is I will record it and then watch it after. Mm-hmm. Because your girl can't stay up past 9:30 usually anymore. So I will happily record things on my Comcast record thingamabob and just rewatch it after the fact. But I'm also a nerd, so I love watching, like, documentary type things, because I have Disney Plus, so I'll, like, nerd out watching National Geographic stuff.
Oh God. I had a class in middle school that had a huge collection of National Geographic magazines, and we would look at it just to laugh at the naked bodies or whatever weird was going on. Oh my God, it was hysterical.
Crazy, cultural, amazing, like, yeah, it's crazy. But, like, now it's also, well, I'll put National Geographic on for my cat. Like, my cat will straight up watch, like, I'll put a bird show on for her, and she'll sit in front of the TV for 15 minutes.
Wow. I wish I could do that with my cat.
My cat is not normal. I think she's part dog. I don't know. She's special.
I think all cats in general are part dog.
It's too funny. I love it.
What children's education shows did you watch?
What did we watch? I remember, Eureka's Castle is not an educational show. I remember Skinamarink TV, The Romper Room. I remember Romper Room.
Yep.
Sesame Street is still something that I absolutely love. I love Mr. Rogers so freaking much.
Yep.
I probably watched Arthur. I remember playing Arthur in elementary school, like those big CD-ROM computer games. No, before CD-ROMs. They were like those big floppy disk things.
Yeah.
And that's how we would learn how to type and stuff like that, were the Arthur books on the computer. That's how I learned how to type back in freaking, like, second grade.
Yeah.
And Bill Nye, of course. I love Bill Nye. Was it the 7th grade, I think? It was in high school. We had a science teacher who, any video he ever showed us, it was only Bill Nye. It was, the greatest. Freaking Bill Nye. And he's on Instagram now. Bill Nye is hella cool.
Yeah, there's a couple children's educational shows I watched that you're probably too young to remember, but there was one. Do you remember Pinwheel?
No.
Okay, I had a feeling that you wouldn't remember this. I think it was way off Nickelodeon by the time you came of age. So, there was a children's educational show that Bill Cosby did in the early 70s called The Electric Company. and
Okay.
it was a show. It had Rita Moreno on it and Morgan Freeman before anybody knew who Morgan Freeman was, and it was like Sesame Street. There was puppets. There was, here's the animation for today and all this crap. Well, Pinwheel was a Canadian ripoff of the Electric Company, and
Oh.
if you mentioned anybody who's like my age or older, they will remember the theme song because it went like this. Pinwheel, pinwheel, spinning around. Look at my pinwheel, look what I found. Pinwheel, pinwheel.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Oh my god,
Oh, okay.
I watched that. There was a Canadian folk trio called Sharon, Lois, and Bram, and they had a show called The Elephant Show. Where
is that the same woman who started Lamb Chop?
No, that's Sherry Lewis.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'm getting my. Okay.
They were actually guest stars on her show, on their show actually, but no. So like Sharon, Lois, and Bram, they were a Canadian folk trio. They had this live elephant, and they just sang songs and taught lessons and so forth. And I remember one particular episode where the elephant was giving birth, and when the elephant gave birth, it gave birth to a stuffed animal elephant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess they were trying to be politically correct in the 80s.
That's so, gosh. Can only imagine the cinematography and animation then, too.
Yeah. And I'm sure you watched all the cartoons for, like, all the toy lines, like Care Bears and Strawberry Shortcake and all of that.
That was more my sister, I feel like. I don't really remember watching that kind of stuff. The Care Bears, kind of. I don't know. I'd have to ask my older brother, really, because I feel like if whatever he was watching or doing, I was probably doing it too. So, like,
yeah.
He loved Ninja Turtles. I still love the classic Ninja Turtle animated
Same
Ninja
here.
Turtle. I still have not seen the newer Ninja Turtle. I kind of refuse to divulge the newer Ninja Turtle because that ain't it. Like, I need my 80s Ninja Turtles. And, like, my brother even had a rabbit named April. Like, we were real big into Ninja Turtles.
I want to give you a virtual high five because I couldn't agree more. And I had a 7th birthday party, Ninja Turtles themed, at 19th Avenue Bowl in San Mateo, which went away about a year later, sadly. And I had the cassette tape of their album, They're Coming Out of Their Shell.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yep, my brother was a Ninja Turtle for Halloween, probably multiple years.
I never got to do that because it couldn't fit me. Yeah, I was into Gem and the Smurfs and Denver the Last Dinosaur and Darkwing Duck.
They have Darkwing Duck on Disney Plus, so that's one thing too. Like Disney Plus has some good throwback. Like they have the original Gargoyles.
Yep.
And like Darkwing Duck. I gotta see if I can find. I found Family Matters on Peacock.
It's on Hulu. Yeah.
Oh, I found Step by Step though. I feel like I did find Step by Step.
Yeah.
And Full House, that's another thing. Like, I did not watch the new Fuller House or whatever. Like,
it sucked.
I just feel like that's something that didn't need to be touched.
Same here. Yeah, I agree.
And I still think it's weird that they're doing Roseanne's show without Roseanne. Like, the Connors, like, it's just weird. Like, yeah. I understand why Roseanne isn't on it anymore and all that kind of, I get all of that, but, like, it's just not the same.
Yeah, that is a weird situation. I don't know if we'll ever know the reason behind why that show is continued, but it's definitely something to look into, you know? It's weird.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you remember the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Dang. That probably wasn't until after high school.
Huh.
Because we were broke like that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my sister buying me the NSYNC's original first album on cassette tape. And she hated everything about it because she was like, I can't believe you want to listen to this fucking boy band white boy shit. Because she raised me on more East Coast music because she lived on the East Coast. So she used to send me mixtapes that she would record from the radio stations in New York. And, like, that's where music I listened to back in the day. And, like, then being obviously a young teenager and, like, the boy band craze took over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember kind of falling in love with the boy bands, but, like, people think I'm crazy when I'm, like, deep down in my heart, I really just love Celine Dion, and I would love to see her in concert, and I'm really, really sad that she's not performing.
Yeah.
Is my dream. Like, when I was little, if you had asked me, like, oh my gosh, who's your favorite artist? Like, if you could see anybody in concert right now, who would it be? Whitney Houston, hands fucking down.
Yeah.
But, like, Celine Dion, like, give me some freaking Celine Dion, please. And she could sing to me in French. I won't know what she's saying, but she could sing to me in French, too. I'll take it.
Yeah. There was a movie I watched in the 80s called The Peanut Butter Solution. Did you ever see it?
No.
Celine Dion did the music for it before anybody knew who she was. And I think...
Oh, my God, really?
Yeah, I think she did it under a different name. I can't remember. I've seen it enough times you would think I would remember that. But I've talked to a couple of the kids that were in that movie, including the one girl I had a crush on in it, and the director. And it's on YouTube. It's this silly family comedy from 1985. It's French Canadian, and it's so wonderful. But Celine Dion did the music. Yeah.
Oh, I love her so much. See, so you're classic. So what was your first album that you bought with your own money?
Well, I was 8 in 1991. My grandmother gave me, I don't know, $25 or something. And so we went to, I guess, Camelot Music. It was at the time at the Fashion Island Mall. And I was an MTV kid. And so it got Phil Collins' No Jacket Required and Poison's Look What the Cat Dragged In albums. Because I watched MTV and I loved the music videos. So
yes, I love that.
that's where it was. But I remember starting at the age of 4, my parents would buy me cassette tapes for Christmas. I had everything from Michael Jackson's Bad to Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, which is one of the best albums ever.
Yes.
Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl, Warrant's Cherry Pie. Only me.
God.
Only me.
That is so funny.
And
I remember my
good.
mom had all the good music back in the day. Hella cassette tapes. We would listen to everything from Huey Lewis to Paul Simon. And then my dad had, like, the more rock and roll-y, like Rolling Stones, Beatles, Bob Dylan kind of vibe. So I got a good eclectic mix of music.
I was very immersed in Bay Area rock, like Huey Lewis and the News and Greg Kihn and the Motels and Montrose in the 70s. That was Sammy Hagar's first band, and that first album is killer. I was telling someone about it earlier, and that album's on YouTube. Go check it out. It's one of the best rock albums ever, and it's probably the first heavy metal album from America.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a hit, but it's like one of those, like, most influential albums from guitarists,
Oh, that's cool.
One of those type of things. I had The Simpsons Sing the Blues on cassette, and I have it on CD for the past 20-something years, and I still love it.
That is hilarious.
It holds up.
Absolutely.
Do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
Technically, we saw Dido for free at Amoeba Records in San Francisco. And she signed the inside cover of my Roswell chapter book. Mm-hmm. I was, like, in the 7th or 8th grade, and we fell in love with Dido because she sang the theme song. Her song from her first album was the theme song for Roswell. And that's where we, like, learned who she was and, like, oh, who's the singer, and, like, just dove into her music. And then when we heard she was doing this, like, small concert series at Amoeba, I don't even know. I'd have to ask my friends, like, how did we even hear about that? And, like, shout out to cousin Vanessa, who was always that big cousin who took us to places and vouched for us and, like, took us places and did things we probably weren't supposed to, because there's no way in hell my dad would have allowed me to go by myself to go see any artist for that matter. So that was one of those, like, school night type, like, stayed up past our bedtime type things. Yeah. We thought we were celebrities the next day at school. You couldn't tell us shit. I miss concerts. The last concert we went to was Santana and Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Shoreline.
Oh, I'm jealous.
That was freaking badass. That was badass. That was something we bought well, we were going to crash Mom and Dad's anniversary, and so we bought tickets after they had purchased their tickets, but then the concert got pushed back because of COVID.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that they were like, hey, when the world reopens, like, we're still going to go on this tour. And they did. It was freaking amazing.
I am so fucking jealous. I would love to see Santana and Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love both those. I love both of those bands. Yeah. I had two first concerts. Well, every year we used to go to San Mateo Fair, and like Tower of Power would play, and I was bored. I was bored. I didn't have appreciation for them back then like I do now. But then when I was 15, me and my dad went to go see Steppenwolf, and it was. And the original lead singer, John Kay, was the only original member. Everybody else was young, and like for me, I didn't care because he was a charismatic guy, very funny, and a good showman, and all that. But I was looking at the 40 and 50-year-olds there, and it looked like the magic was gone for them. But I didn't care because I knew all the songs from the radio, and when they're doing the hits I love during the encore, Magic Carpet Ride and Born to Be Wild. Oh, it was awesome.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, I am definitely like, I can't do the lawn at Shoreline anymore. Like, your girl needs to have feet, which is funny because I am usually on my feet the whole time, singing at the top of my lungs. Like, when we saw the Backstreet Boys, that was the first time I had ever seen the Backstreet Boys. But it was like, okay, yeah, saw them, like, whatever. I would love to see Khalid again. He was amazing. I saw him at the Oracle.
Yeah.
I've seen Kenny Chesney like 5 times in concert.
At the Shoreline, I have seen Steve Miller and Journey. I saw Styx, Def Leppard, and Tesla there, and I saw Scorpions and Tesla there.
Oh, that is sick. I saw J. Cole at the Shoreline because we went to Rock the Bells, which I don't even think they do anymore, but that was like a multiple-day festival. I got so freaking sunburned, but it was so worth it because I love J. Cole. And then I saw Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake at the Stick, actually. That was probably one of the last concerts at the Stick. And then we saw Jay-Z again with Beyonce at, well, it's called Oracle Park now, but at AT&T Park. Right. And that was probably one of the most epic concerts I've been to. And what I think I loved most about it was where we were sitting in the stands, because we paid so much for that concert. And I'm like, we can't even afford these as baseball tickets. Like, I can see the dugout from where I'm so close on the third base line right now. Like, I was having a total baseball geek moment. And my wife is like, but Beyonce is over there. And I'm like, but why can't we sit here during baseball season? Oh, that's right, because tickets are so fucking expensive. Oh, that was an amazing concert. That was, I love Jay-Z. He is my favorite rapper of all time. So when I got the opportunity to see him with Justin Timberlake, it was like, oh, absolutely. But then when he came back to the Bay Area, I was on that with quickness.
Yeah, my first
again and again.
Oh, sorry. My first real concert was Alice Cooper in 2000. We had just lost a really big football game that day at my high school. I was on the team and everything. And so this was the great way to end a really shitty day. He puts on a huge, elaborate show. You know, he gets killed at the end of every concert. It was fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, his whole career, he either gets stabbed, hung, electric chair, electrocution.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me fully because it's Alice Cooper, but what the fuck? That's crazy.
I can't remember offhand what happened to him that night, but oh my God, he put on a great show and he's still doing it. I heard he did a really good show about a week or so ago, and oh God, who was he with? He was with somebody big, but yeah, I love Alice. I think he's great. Do you remember the first makeout song you had?
Oh gosh, no.
I remember mine.
Forever ago.
I remember mine. It was Janet Jackson's "Love Will Never Do Without."
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That's a great one. Yeah. Wow. How about? Do you remember the first time you ever saw, whether it was intentional or by accident, a porn movie?
no, but
Mm-hmm.
I still have not found confirmation, but our econ teacher in high school apparently was in a porn in the 70s.
Really?
And no one had, yeah. I have to look into that. I wonder if anyone from our class has ever found it. I'd have to ask. I'll have to text my friend later and see, because, God, that man, just thinking about him right now gives me the absolute heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
And when we found out that he was in a porn, it was like, yeah, that's it. That he could be that. That's where he should have stayed in that career.
Well, what was he cool or was he a dick?
No, he was a dick. He was a total creep.
Okay, that sounds like it then. Yeah, he was definitely in porn.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah, it'd be funny, to actually see the porn that your teacher was in, and just to think that that dick was right in front of you in pants.
Exactly. Oh God, Lord.
Yeah, I remember
eyeballs.
I remember when I was 7, right? And I've told this story before, and I'm going to tell it in my book someday. When I was 7 years old, my grandmother and I went to Shoreview Video. I loved Irwin Allen's version of Alice in Wonderland, the TV movie back in the 80s. It was fantastic. It's got everybody from Sammy Davis Jr. to Ringo Starr to, God, Shelley Winters was in it. Lots of icons, right?
Oh, okay.
So I go to the video store and ask them if they have it, right? This guy, he was new there. We had never seen him before, right? He went into one of the back rooms, and he brought us this one tape of Alice in Wonderland. So we got it, right. I watched it for 10 minutes and then got bored, and then fast forward to 2017. I'm about to interview the actress Christine DeBelle, and she was in an X-rated version of Alice in Wonderland. And I went on Yahoo and Googled images of it. I want to see if she's naked, because, I mean, she'd been naked in a couple of things back in the day, but I wanted to see what this looked like, right? I recognized that rabbit from that 10 minutes I watched of that tape. I am disgusted. This guy sold a X-rated film to a 7-year-old and his 70-something-year-old grandmother.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Well, it didn't matter. I told Christine the story in email. She laughed and said, okay, we're not going to talk about this movie during the interview because I've talked about it way too much. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, I had to tell her that story.
It's too funny. Because of all things, that's the version they gave you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's hella funny.
Yeah, I was a little suspicious in hindsight. Yeah, going into the back room, that's where the porn is.
Yep, they always had it behind a curtain or behind the, I call them saloon doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always ask you're not supposed to go back there section. It's like, oh, is there guns back there? I used to think is that where the mafia hangs out? That's those are the adult videos. It's like, oh. Is there a secret door back there? I always thought that room led to something else. Mafia movies, I'm what? No, but what's back there? It's there's nothing back there. There has to be something back there secret.
And then when I was 10, we had the Spice Channel for a hot minute, and I turn it on. I turn it on. I see some heavy petting going on. I watch it, and then I turn it off out of fear I'm going to be caught. And then 2 years later, it comes in handy when I do my first finger bang. Yeah. Okay, I remember one summer when I was 7. My dad had to work. And me, my mom, my brother, we went on vacation to go see my grandparents over in Bernie. And when I come back, I find a nudie magazine in my dad's bedroom. I just took one look at it, at the cover, and then threw it back out of fear I was going to get caught,
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. And then I look at, my sex addiction and my horn dog, ness, my hypersexuality, and I'm like, okay, that's where I get it from,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's genetic.
It can be, absolutely.
Wow. But so overall everything's good, work is good, and married life is good?
Yeah, I'm working my butt off over at the Italian club still, and I am really trying to dive into my business with Monate, and just make it to the top. I know I have potential to do so, and I'm just grinding away.
Yeah, I mean, I moved to Modesto last June, and
Yeah.
we've been in this apartment since then, and hopefully a house soon. And,
Absolutely.
I turned 40 last June, and I'll tell you, since I have turned 40, it has felt really weird. I have felt that I have this newfound maturity in a lot of ways. Like, I've learned to pick my battles. I hold myself accountable every time I know I'm wrong. And that's why I sent you that DM about the last podcast we did. I was like, okay, even though I asked permission, does she regret it later?
Yeah, no, it's interesting how, like, when we grow older,
Yeah.
like, it just shifts. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like you kind of realize that, like, life really is short. So
Yeah.
while it's like we don't need to kiss life's ass, it's good to, like, to recognize and to just grow from things and to, like, say your piece and keep it moving, because life really is short and it's too short to deal with BS,
Exactly, and it feels so much better now, and it's like I've had this weight lifted off my shoulder of insecurity. I mean, sure,
Yes,
insecurity
I
will
love
always be there
that.
and stuff, but, like, at least now I've gotten closure to things.
Yes, and you are blossoming and you're still doing the damn thing. Like, it's just amazing. Like, this whole podcast thing that you're doing is just, it's awesome, because not everybody has the balls to take that idea, even if it's the most simple idea, and even do it. Like, I don't know, it's intimidating, but you seem to be so good at it because you're you, so it doesn't surprise me at all.
Oh, thanks, Katie. Thank you. I
love this. I love this podcast. I love your postings of it. Like, it's awesome. Like, I'm glad that you have this outlet.
It is. It's just been a blessing and a miracle, and I love doing it all the time and stuff. And it's given me some amazing adventures. And now, with the pandemic winding down, I just want to get back to fucking traveling. I miss going out to LA and stuff and doing
And your
things.
shows. You used to go to shows all the time and meet people and go to
Yeah.
conventions and stuff. I remember that.
Well, I've gone to a couple conventions since the pandemic has wind down. I went to one last summer and the summer before that, and I went to one in the fall of 21. But it's just they've gotten so damn rapey and expensive now. It's just like it's not even worth going to them unless somebody that I've interviewed that I really want to meet in person is there. Then I go. But just now, I'm just not doing the splurging at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah.
I have a joke for you.
Hit me.
Okay. Why did the blonde have a bruised belly button?
Ooh. That's a good question. Was the bar too high for her?
Was the bar too high for her? I never heard that one before. No, her boyfriend was also blonde.
That is good. I like that one.
Her bar was too high. That's good. I like that one too.
Oh my God.
Sometimes somebody will like guess the punchline, and sometimes it'll be funnier than mine. But yeah.
No, I like
that. Katie, I love you so much. Thank you for coming back on and nerding out with me tonight.
Of course. Glad we could reconnect.
Yes, and I hope to make a peninsula trip soon in the future, and I'll let you know if I do. I'd love to see you.
For sure, absolutely. We would love to have you out here.
Yes. Well, love you, darling. Be safe.
Love you.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Katie LaRosa. Ain't she a sweetheart? Oh, my God, I just adore her. She's so supportive, and she's so amazing, and I love her so much. I really, really do. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes.